everybody. I want to talk a little bit about parenting. This is really just a personal story because I think it's kind of humorous and great. So it's on a lighter note. So if you're here for deep dive information on narcissism, this probably is not the video for you. But if you want to have kind of sort of a good laugh, a good chuckle, and hear about somebody else's parenting struggles, I think this is probably for you. So my son is 9 years old. I have ADHD. I'm somewhat concerned that he may either have ADHD or at least some of my unsavory characteristics. We had one counselor tell us that his mother, my ex, we did a therapy thing. The counselor said that he doesn't have ADHD. I said, well, how do you know? He said, well, because he has good grades. So that's a whole other topic of discussion. So, but whenever I parent my son, I tell him that it's my job as his father to help him grow, develop, and be stronger. You're really good at school. As a matter of fact, the strengths you have are really, really good, disproportionately good. I'm not so concerned with the things you're already awesome at. I'm not so concerned with telling you that you're awesome because you already know this and you hear it plenty from your mother. So my job as a father is to build you up and make you a stronger human being, a future father, a future man. The way that you make somebody stronger is by identifying deficits and weaknesses and correcting them. So whenever I see something that's causing a little bit of a problem in his life, or adding a little chaos to the mix, I come in and I provide my fatherly wisdom, which is promptly ignored because he's 9. But here lately, because he's 9, he's started to care a little bit more about girls, not necessarily wanting to date them, but at least recognizing that they are, a desirable addition to the crew. And on my street, there are tons of girls. There's just like 3 boys and like 12,000 girls just on my street. Predominantly female. So they're all playing one day. This was on Easter. They're all playing, and he was riding his bike, and he turned too quick, and he fell, and he scraped his knee. And I was sitting there watching, and of course, me being dad was like, oh, son, please don't cry. Please don't cry. Please don't cry. Please walk it off. Please walk it off. Please, no. And he did. And I was like, yes! Yes! Good job, son. Because historically, he's always cried. So he immediately recognized that he was in the observance of many female peers and sucked it up and was tough. And he said, no, I'm okay. And one of the girls was like, no, you're bleeding. We need to go take care of this. And I was like, oh, good. A girl has self-identified, So they bonded a little bit, and they're both like, 9 years old. And I said, okay, you know what? Like, I've got a first aid kit at the house. Here, we'll go take care of it. And so I went with them, got my son all patched up. Then he went back out and kept playing. So I made the comment. I said, well, looks like you and the girl have a little crush going on. He says, well, what's a crush? I was like, oh, that's just like where, you're a young little boy, she's a young little girl, and you two kind of, like each other. Y'all have, kind of sort of y'all get along, you think each other's cool, you enjoy each other's company, you hang out, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's like a crush. He says, cool. So later on that day, he comes up to me for some fatherly hints, and I'm like, oh, son, sit down. Do I have some knowledge for you? And one of the things I told him was that he's very impulsive whenever he talks. He gets it from me, case in point, the fact that I have this channel to begin with, right? So he's an impulsive talker. And one of the things I have learned is not everybody wants to listen. People want to listen to somebody talk about what they want to hear somebody talk about when they're ready. In my years, I have come to learn this, but he has not. So I tell him, you're very smart, you have a lot of good things to say. But you can't just go running around spraying people with words, right? Because people don't want to be sprayed with words ever, really. They only want to talk about the things that they want to speak about and listen to. So good that you have all this knowledge, good that you're friendly, good that you like to talk. However, son, you are swimming in a sea of females. So one of the things you need to understand is the more you talk, the more words that come out of your mouth, the mathematical probability of you saying something stupid increases dramatically. You might not think it's stupid at the time, but trust me, all it takes is one stupid comment, and then one girl is going to shriek and go, ew, and tell her little friend, and then they're both going to shriek and go, ew. And when girls go, ew, that is like that is like the emergency storm siren, the nuclear fallout siren for all females, calling all females. There's important information to be had, right? So I tell them, when you mess up with one girl, you don't mess up with one girl. You mess up with every single girl. So it's very important. Keep your mouth shut and listen to the girls. You don't talk, you listen. Listen. That's what you do as a man who wants to survive. You listen. So he says, okay, you know. So the next morning we're preparing, and I'm going over I'm refreshing him because it's going to be yet another day out on the streets. Remember what I said, don't spray people with words, and you listen, right? Because why? He says, because the more I talk, the more likely I am to say something stupid. And I said, yep. Now, if you've been listening to my story so far, I imagine you can probably predict what happens next. These two girls come over, the girl that helped him yesterday and her little sister. My son goes to the little sister and says, so I've got a crush on your sister. Woo! Little sister goes, ew! And that put out the APB. Because then big sister says, what's wrong? He has a crush on you. And then they both go, ew! And big sister goes, oh my God, I feel so awkward. Oh God. And I'm just sitting here like looking like, literally I just said, don't talk. Just don't talk, son. Oh yeah, just please don't talk. Don't talk. Be mute. And it's like, okay, there's no amount of pre-preparation that I could have ever given him to say, it's a really bad idea when you tell any female, let alone a sister, that you like another female more. That's, even if she has zero interest in you whatsoever, no, son, no. So then, they're both, ew. Well, it didn't end there, because for the rest of the day, as more and more kids come out to play, because it's Easter weekend, I hear it every time a new girl shows up to the group. They all run off to the side and huddle, and then there it is. Ew! And my son is hearing this. My son is seeing this whole thing go down. And I'm just sitting back, because I'm like, he needs to learn. Boy needs to learn, because that's how boys learn. They don't listen until they get hurt, and then they get it, right? So just all day, every time a new girl shows up, they all get together, they all go, ew, ew. So finally, it's the middle of the afternoon. This has been going on for several hours, and pretty much all the children were out, which was what I was looking for. So the fact that now that all the girls have heard and all the girls have said ew, and my son is really just over to the side with a shovel. He's like, Dad, can I have a shovel? I was like, why? Well, because I just want to dig a hole and hide. Get out there and go play, son. He didn't really say that. That's just a metaphor. I went up to the girl of whom he said that he had the crush on. Not little sister, but the girl herself. I said, hey, come here. Let me talk to you for a second. I said, I need to kind of sort of tell you about, come clean about something that you probably didn't know about. And so, me being dad, I jumped on the grenade, and I said, when Hayden said he had a crush on you, he didn't really know what he was saying, and that's my fault. Because yesterday when you two went to go take care of his knee, I said, because I'm old, crush meant something different then than it does now. So I told Hayden, oh, it looks like you two have a crush. And he says, what's a crush? And I just said, well, it's whenever you think a girl is really cool. And this is what I told her. I said, it's when you think a girl is really cool, really chill, and you like hanging out with her because she's a cool person, and you like being around her, and you like talking to her and listening to what she says. That's what a crush meant when I was younger. Apparently it means now that you want to make out and, you know, make kissy and whoopee and all that other stuff. And that just wasn't there in my generation when we was children. And she goes, oh, well, now I feel really bad. And I was like, well, it's not your fault. I mean, you didn't know. It's my fault because I told him wrong. I wasn't aware that the term crush had changed in my 20 plus years of adolescence. I'm 37, but anyways. So I jumped on the grenade for him for that. So I said, so if you don't mind, I would like to ask for you to please go around to all the other girls and fix the situation, because I think Hayden probably got shamed unfairly, and I know that he feels terrible and he's horribly embarrassed right now, and for no good reason other than the fact that I screwed up for him, and I really just don't want him to have to pay for the consequences of my stupidity. And she's like, oh yeah, no, definitely. So she goes around to all the girls and she fixes up everything, and she goes to my son and she makes good, and I see him talking to her and she points at me, fuddy-duddy dad, and everything's cool. And so we get back to the house, and and he's all like, thanks, Dad. And I said, I want you to know something. I jumped on the grenade for you this time. What do you need to do in the future? He says, don't say a word, don't spray people with words, be quiet and listen. And I was like, yes. Woo. And things have been good ever since. Now I have taught my son to shut his mouth and listen to a girl. So we'll see how long this lasts. Hopefully he makes it through the summer. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you had a good laugh. I wanted to try and add an air of comic relief and just, fun stories about kids. We can't all be serious all the time. So, anyways, thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you on some other video that's a little more serious.